Interested in studying overseas but don't know where to begin? Take your doubts and queries online with IDP's free service. Introducing IDP Virtual Counseling. You will be greeted by a friendly host who will assign you to the destination breakout room of your choice. Our experienced counselors will be there to guide you the wonders of studying abroad. Our counselors will be available from Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and on Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
My name is Yona. I am a IDP education counselor.
I'm Peter James. I am an education counselor.
Hi, I'm Charlene. I'm the senior education counselor.
It's a good feeling that you're able to sort of share ideas and different pathways with different students and parents that are out there.
I guess the primary motivation would be to actually help students to actually achieve their dreams.
I enjoy talking to the parents and the students while provide them with advice, which university and what program they want to study.
Here at IDP Singapore, our counselors don't just assist you in wanting people, it's the satisfaction of helping students achieve their goals and dreams.
People often come in, they're not too sure about what they want to do or where
counselor will still come back to me and basically check out what how am I and stuff like this, and then probably if they're going to do postgraduate studies, they'll come for me again. Continuation of friendship.
Sometimes these students do come back and they want to do masters, do PhD
And
programs.
last but not least, the friendships and connections built.
Some of them, invite us to their weddings. They meet the love of their life there at university, and they get married, they settle down. So it's a whole journey with them. Normally
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Sabrina, and I will be taking you through today's program, event program. Sorry. So we will start today's program with myself introducing you to who we are and a short introduction to what Foundation Pathway is all about. And I'll be handing over the session to our guest speaker, Mr. Massimo, who's from Study Group. We will then have a short game. So be sure to be listening to our presentation in the first presentation as well as the second one. And we will then move on to the most interesting part of the evening, which is the graduate sharing session. So we have two graduates with us, and they will be sharing their experience with you. And we will end today's session with a question and answer. So who are we? Introducing IDP Education. We are a global leader in international education services. We help our students study in English-speaking countries. And this comes from connecting the student with the right courses in the right institution in the right country. We've been around for 50 years and we are there in 30 countries. In 2017, we acquired the Hot Courses Group, which is a leading course search database. And Hot Courses is now known as IDP Connect. We are also a proud owner of ALTS, the world's most popular high-stakes English language test, operator of 9 English language teaching campuses in Southeast Asia. We assist our students to place them in their dream destination, and and the country includes United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and Ireland. So how do we assist you throughout this student journey? Basically, from the time you actually start thinking about studying overseas and you wish to know more information, we are there to explore together with you. We will be having a free consultation where we'll be advising you on your eligibility, on your ideal courses, as well as the institution which has the courses you are looking at. We will also be sharing with you about the scholarship and any education loan if you need any. We can also arrange you to meet up with the faculty members. We can arrange for an information session, or you could also attend our events. That's where you will get to make choices on which university will be best for you. And thereafter, it will come to a time whereby you can start applying for your program. So IDP will be there to assist you in the submission of application, and this could be really tedious because imagine if you have 4 or 5 universities you're applying to. You definitely need some help in that. So that's where we come in and help you out. We will also be assisting in checking your personal statements, also giving you the step-by-step guidance into if you need a priority application processing, for example. And then thereafter, once you are accepted by the university, when you receive your offer, that is where we will be assisting you to accept the confirm your place. And that's when we will start preparing you for your next journey, which is departing to your dream destination. So that is when we will start doing the visa processing for you. Depending on each country, it might take in between like 1.5 to 2.5 months for the visa processing. Other pre-trip services includes you trying to know about more about accommodation, transportation, and things like banking options. So all that we will be there to assist you throughout. And thereafter, of course, you will be having your pre-departure session where where the university will be having it with you, or maybe IDP will be doing the pre-departure on our side as well. And off you go for your to the dream country of your education. Also, IDP has always been very advanced in digital transformation. We now have the student app, which you can actually download and start browsing on the universities and courses provided. From here, you'll be able to at least get more information about the university you are interested in, or even the courses. Thereafter, if you once you finish the application processes, you are able to check on your application status and everything online. So do be sure that you can download the app. Next, what is ALTS? ALTS is an International English Language Testing Center. So it actually measures the the language proficiency of people who wants to study or work where English is used as a language of communication. ALTS is also jointly owned and managed by Cambridge Assessment English, IDP, as well as British Council. So who are the people who take the test? It could be one who wants to go for migration purpose, for those who are applying for university, and of course for those who are also going to work abroad. So these are some of the people who will be taking the ALT test. There are different tests, which one is the ALTS Academic and General Training. So this is applicable for all test candidates. This is to assess the language ability of candidates when they want to study or work overseas. The other one is ALTS for UKVI. These are for candidates who intend to study in a UK below degree level. So as such, for today, if let's say if you're applying for the study foundation pathways, you would likely have to take an ALTS before you proceed for the program. Next is ALTS life skill, which is a special requirement for visa application for spouse or family members who wish to migrate in the UK. They have two test format. One is paper-based and the other one is computer-based. And next, I will move on to sharing with you a little bit about what is foundation pathway all about. So a foundation pathway is a pre-university qualification, which is designed to fast-track students towards getting a degree. So these programs prepare the student by putting them through a combination of academic modules as well as skill training. This fast-track program can save up to 1.5 to 2 years of your pre-degree education. Apart from a pre-university qualification, they are also known as a preparation course for any bridges and that bridges any subject knowledge or academic grades that you might still be lacking. So for instance, if you wish to go for you are from a different discipline altogether and you want to change discipline, but you don't have the prerequisites, you can actually go for a foundation pathway first and then move on to the program which you like. So the duration is somewhere between 6 months to 12 months, depending on the institution and your level of entry. For short, they also have the fast track program, which could be fixed as quick as 6 months. So this is the fast track program for foundation. So who is it for? Is it for you? One is for anyone who wants an accelerated or an alternative pathway to a degree instead of doing the formal qualification. So basically, this is essentially the more conventional route, which is like in our local education, like the junior colleges for A-level polytechnics, as well as our IB programs. So after your O-levels, or even for some institutions, they do accept N-levels, you can directly apply for a foundation year, which is 9 months. And after that, proceed for your first year degree program. And this is also for those, if a degree have a prerequisite in an area where you have not studied before, for example, after poly and you wish to pursue a different discipline, which requires you to have a foundation, like, more of the like physiotherapy and all that. So you can actually go for a foundation pathway before you move on to the degree program. Others could be those who change academic direction, which is similar to the second point, or those who miss the cutoff for a desired university. So basically, majority of the student, all of us, we grew up having our dream university. Maybe some of us wants to go, to University of Western Australia. We want to go for Cambridge, or, the best university you might want to go. So this is a chance for you to, let's say if you receive your result and you miss by a certain point, but you really want to go to that particular university, do check if you could do it through the foundation pathway, because most of our foundation pathway program, it actually link you to a top-notch, top ranking university, like the Group of 8 or the Russell Group University. So always remember, you always have a second chance through a foundation pathway program. Foundation pathway also, it's a way for you to graduate faster and join the workforce earlier, which means you'll start earning much earlier as well. So this is some of the scenario which I want to share with you. So from here, you could see how many years or you would be saving if you actually go for a foundation pathway compared to the normal track if you go for a local education. So for instance, if a student proceed to a foundation pathway right after O or N level, so if you go from if you go for a foundation, it will be 9 months plus a 3 years university program. That will be a total of 3 years, 9 months program. So looking at the second option, if you proceed to a local JC, you will do 2 years plus 3 years university for UK, and some of the universities 4 years. That will be a 5 to 6 years university your education route. If a student proceed to local university route, you will have a 3 years poly program and then plus another 3 to 4 years for overseas university program, which technically adds up to 7 years. But of course, for polytechnic student, most of the time you might be getting exemption, but that depends on the country of study as well as the program you're going for. So for some programs like health sciences, for example, there may be no exemptions given. So of course, for more information, you can always approach our counselor in our IDP office, and they can share with you more. Hope that gives you a better idea on, giving you a clearer picture of how much time you will be saving if you actually go via the foundation pathway. And just to share with you, these are our foundation pathway provider. For Australia and New Zealand, these are our partners, and we also have other partners, which is with United Kingdom, Ireland, and Canada. So every one of our foundation pathway provider, they have different partners, university with them. So depending, and also different discipline which is offered from the institution. So it depends on the discipline you're looking for, the country you're looking at, as well as the university you're looking for. You then make a decision on which of these pathway provider would best suit you, and then you can apply for the program. So moving further, we will have our guest speaker, Massimo. So Massimo is from Study Group, which is one of our pathway provider. So he will be sharing with you more in depth on the entry requirement, the different destination available. So that will give you a better picture of foundation pathway programs. And we will move on to, we have two graduates with us today, Vinit and Sonipa, Vinit is currently with the University of Birmingham Law Program through Kaplan International College, London. And Sonipa is currently with the University of Western Australia Program through Study Group. So they will then share with you what is the background they are from and why they decided to go for the foundation pathway. So without further ado, I shall hand over the session to Massimo. Massimo, please.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. Let me share my screen and I'll get started immediately. So just a second, here we go. Yes, great. So once again, thanks very much, Sabrina. My name is Massimo. I'm a student recruitment manager for Study Group. So I'm based here in Singapore. I've been helping students going to the UK for the past 4 years, mostly with higher ranked UK partners in the UK. But recently I've been expanding my horizons, and now I'm gonna also introduce you to a number of destinations for the programs that we call pathways. So those are preparation programs. So as Sabrina quickly introduced, we have a number of programs that allow students to save time, save money, and get a second chance to go to top-notch universities all over the world. And this is what I do here at Study Group. So for the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to try to give you all the information that you need to hopefully basically just try to give you a couple of ideas of what the options are out there for you as a student. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the destinations, because there is a number of pathway providers, so companies just like mine that partner with universities all over the world. But depending on the university you choose, you might have to choose a different pathway provider. At Study Group, we're very proud to have some very high-ranked partners, as you will see in the next slides. I will talk about the programs available. Again, we quickly mentioned it before. Why a foundation, and also what are the typical entry requirements or entry points for students coming from Singapore. Then we'll do a quick cost comparison, which is obviously a big part of the decision process when you consider studying abroad. And then I will go slightly more in depth about the different partners that we have in UK, in Europe, in Ireland. I will also talk about Bellerbys, which is in between a boarding school, a foundation program, and a preparation to university. And finally, I will touch on Australia. So the first thing is, yes, I know this has been a very special year. So all of you out there might have questions about what's going on. Can I join on campus? What are the safety measures? Am I allowed to go on campus? Do I study online? All those questions are very valid. And I think all universities are very aware of the concerns that you may have. At Study Group, we are trying to be as flexible as possible. So you have options to either come on campus, you're more than welcome. You can study online, or you can choose to do both. Start online and then join on campus later. That's very important for you to remember that. But even if you join on campus, we will do what we call a blended learning, which is a mix of face-to-face and online learning. We need to respect safety measures to have a very strong student community that feels comfortable studying on campus. So just want to reassure everyone that things will go as normal and that you're more than welcome to join us in whichever destination you choose. So now, in terms of destination, the first big destination I'm going to talk about is the United Kingdom. So if you decide to go for one of those popular options here in Singapore, is to go to the United Kingdom. But there's many. You can go to England, where we have a lot of very, very strong and high-ranked partners, among which we have some of the Russell Group universities, including Leeds, Durham University, or Sheffield University. We have some in Scotland, such as Strathclyde or Aberdeen. You can even go to Wales, to Cardiff, or even to Ireland at UCD. That's already just a very, very interesting part of what we do at Study Group. But also, if you want to go further and want to explore something else, we have also a very strong network of partners in Holland, including some QS World Top 100 universities that are available for students to join for a fraction of the price that you would pay anywhere else. Next one is obviously Australia. In Australia, we also partner with some of the best universities in the world. Obviously, we are talking about UWA, and you will hear about it more later on, and not from me, but from students. We partner also with ANU College, with the University of Sydney. We also have a partner in New Zealand, in Waikato. So that's also something that I will discuss a bit later. Now, what are the types of programs available? There's essentially three programs. The first one is the foundation, which is really the bridge between now and you going to an undergraduate degree. As Sabrina said, this can be very short. You could start as early as September or January and finish it within 7 to 8 months. So that's typical foundation. This will be a mix of modules that will include academic subjects and English training. That's the most popular option. The second one would be the pre-masters, which is the same as foundation, but instead of progressing to an undergraduate degree, you will progress to a postgraduate degree. Those ones can be extremely short. They can be as short as 5 months. For places in the UK, they offer some very fast-track pre-masters that would just allow you to go to the UK without wasting any time. And then the final option is the international year one. That's how we call it in the UK, but also the diploma, as we call it in Australia. If you're looking to save money and time, this is the option that we obviously recommend. Because instead of, so just to give you an idea, if you go to a foundation program, you will study for 1 year, then go for your 3 or 4 years of undergraduate degree. But if you go for an international year one, it's already an equivalent of a year one. So once you complete that program, you progress immediately to year 2. So I think you see where I'm going with this. This is where you actually save your time and money. The only difference, obviously, is usually entry requirement is slightly higher, or the level of English required is slightly higher as well. But then, why would you study a foundation? There's many things to like about the foundation. The first thing is it's perfectly designed for international students. So it's a very supportive environment that's basically built in a way to fill the gaps between the knowledge that you have now and the knowledge that you need to be very successful at university. So what does that mean? That means the modules that you're going to study during the year will help you to reinforce the knowledge that the university is looking for you to be the best students you can be at university. So that will be adjusted to the course that you want to study. So if you want to study business, you will have extra classes in math, in statistics. If you want to study humanities, you will probably need to study a bit more of, let's say, liberal arts, or maybe some English related subjects. So all of that will be adjusted to what you want to study. And obviously, there's more things. You will get accustomed also to the university style teaching. So at Study Group, we obviously hire the teachers, we work on the curriculum, but they're all approved by universities. That's how we can guarantee that all of our students will get an offer and a guaranteed progression to the university of their choice if they meet our progression requirements. So you have more time to adjust, and that guarantee of getting a university place is one of the best things really about studying a foundation or a pre-masters. The next thing is the intro requirements. Once again, we discussed that quickly before with Sabrina and the slide that she's shown. But just as a quick reminder, the foundation, you can join as early as after your O-levels. So it's the best way to speed up your studies. You can still access some of the best universities, or at least some of the best partners that we have at Study Group just after your O-levels. But it could also be that maybe you studied your A-levels or your IB and you didn't quite get the grade that you were expecting. And instead of settling for a university that was maybe your backup choice, you can still aim for the top university that you wanted by investing this extra amount of time to study in a foundation or pre-master's program. Diploma students are also more than welcome to join those programs. Now, in terms of costs, it's very interesting because this slide, I put it there because it's only 2 years old. So it's made by HSBC, and they make a comparison between the average university cost for each of the most popular study destinations and the average of annual living costs. It will obviously depend a lot on how you live as a student. If you're very conservative, obviously you won't get that amount for annual living costs. But I think it's a great indicator and something to consider as part of your decision once you decide to choose your university. As you can see, the UK is sometimes seen as a very expensive destination, but actually it's quite affordable. And I will just draw your attention on also Holland that I mentioned before, which also has some of the world top 100 universities for a fraction of the price. Now, just one note about Study Group itself. So Study Group, as we said, is a pathway provider. If you're just wondering how does that work, Study Group is basically there to partner with the university. And as I said, we guarantee progression to students that decide to join our foundation or pre-master's program. And how do we do that is by having a very close relationship with all the universities that I'm going to show in the next few slides. So moving on to the destinations themselves. The first one I'm going to talk about is the UK. So why would you study in the UK? There is 16 different universities in the UK that Study Group partners with. Among those 16 different universities, 12 are top 50 in the UK. It's very, very good. Obviously, we're very proud of that. And some of them are Russell Group University. If you don't know what a Russell Group University is, basically, it's a research-intensive institution that has a great reputation worldwide, which increases your employability and your chances of getting a job later on. But also, from the academic side, they are accredited with what we call a TEF Gold. So this is what we call a Teaching Excellence Framework. So you can expect to have some of the best education possible in the UK. And obviously, a reason why students choose to go to the UK is for that amazing academic reputation and the amazing academic standards. And we can assure you that this is what you're going to get, not only when you join the foundation, but also when you progress to the university of your choice. So then there's also a very welcoming culture. The UK is very used to welcoming international students. And depending on the university you choose, you will have sometimes more than 100 or 130 different nationalities represented on campus, which is a great feeling to have. And all together, all the universities that we have, so all 16 together, have more than 1,000 degrees that you can choose from. So there's very little chance that you won't find what you're looking for among all the universities that we have to offer. Finally, we have shorter degrees. As you may know, the UK can help you complete your undergraduate degrees in only 3 years, and that will include honors. That's a major difference, obviously, with Australia that I'm going to mention later on. And the master's degree is only 1 year. It's also obviously a very great cultural attraction, lots of travel connections. Wherever you are in the UK, you're only an hour away from Paris, from Brussels, from Amsterdam, from some places in South of Europe. I know I'm talking about, it's the wrong year to talk about this, I know, and I don't recommend it at the moment, but hopefully we'll be back to normal very soon. Now, some of the UK universities that we partner with, once again, I'm going to point out Durham, Sheffield, Lancaster, Sussex, as some of the best universities we have and some of the most popular. From experience, some of the most popular universities that Singaporean students choose to go to. And then in terms of leading European universities, I'm talking about Holland universities, but also UCD. And talking about Ireland, if you want something a bit different and you want to go to the UK, then Ireland is a great choice. And the university that we partner with in Ireland is UCD. So that's in Dublin. Obviously, the population of Ireland is a very human size with 6.6 million. It's only 8 hours away from Singapore. People are extremely friendly and universities are very competitive. You can see from those statistics that UCD Dublin have some top-ranked MBA programs on top of others, obviously, but it's also the only Irish business school ranked in the Financial Times and The Economics. They also have what we call a triple accreditation. So when a business school is given a triple accreditation, that's something that is only given to 1% of business school in the entire world. So once again, a great competitive academic choice. If you're looking for that international experience as well, more than 50% of the students cohort in UCD is international. So if you want to make friends from all over the world, that's another great reason to go. There's many things to like about Ireland, but obviously as we only have a few minutes today, we're going to move on to the next one. But if you do have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box. I'm going to talk quickly about Bellerbys College, which is a slightly different option if you decide to go to the UK. I know a lot of you will think about the UK and straight think about London. So Bellerbys has two different centers, one in London and one in Brighton. And as I said, it's in the middle between a boarding school and a foundation program, because Bellerbys College offers a lot of different options, including pre-foundation, A-levels leading to medicine, or even a preparation to Oxford and Cambridge, an actual foundation, and also an undergraduate year one. The best thing and the biggest difference between what you do in Bellerbys and what you do in a different foundation is that if you decide to go to Bellerbys, you leave a lot of options for you after you complete your foundation. Usually, if you go to a foundation in Durham, most likely we expect you to go to Durham University. Here, if you do a foundation in Bellerbys, then at the end of the year, you can still have a lot of different options. Bellerbys is recognized by a wide number of universities in the UK, including some of the highest ranked ones. I'm just going to show you a couple of partners here. So that's Surrey, Lancaster, Durham. You can get a conditional offer. There's a lot more to know about Bellerbys College, but it's a very competitive program and a great alternative to the regular foundation program that we offer in the universities themselves. Once again, if you have questions about it, happy to go more in depth in the Q&A. Moving on to the next destination, I'm going to now talk about Australia and New Zealand. So Australia and New Zealand, there's a total of 42 universities in Australia and 8 in New Zealand. And Study Group, once again, is very proud to have 7 partners in that region. Among those 7 partners, there's 5 partners in university in Australia that are part of the group of 8. I talked about the Russell Group before. Group of 8 would be kind of the equivalent in Australia with some very research-intensive university with very strong international reputation and very high ranking. So among this group of 8, we have 3 among the Study Group portfolio. We also have 2 partner universities in New Zealand, and the type of programs that we offer is, once again, the foundation or the diploma, which is the equivalent of the year one. But we also have graduate diploma pre-masters. The difference, obviously, the intakes are going to be a bit different. In the UK, it would typically start in September or in January or even in March. Here in Australia, the intakes would usually be February, June, or October. So among the partners that we have, I'm going to just mention those and show you a couple of rankings. It wouldn't be a presentation if I don't show you at least a couple of rankings. So we have the University of Sydney being number 42, ANU being number 29, and University of Western Australia being number 86, as well as Flinders. All of those are very, very competitive, not only for the overall ranking, but also for the course ranking. I'm happy to share this presentation if you want to take some more time to examine those options. But what else? Why would you choose to study in Australia? There's, again, lots of things to like about Australia. There's a post-study work visa that can be 2 years and 3 years. If you're in a big city, usually you can stay for up to 2 years. If you're in other cities, you can even stay up to 3 years. That's the first very good reason. Obviously, in the UK now we have a post-work study visa for 2 years as well. But once again, that's a very strong thing to consider. You're in a similar time zone and you're much closer to home if you decide to go and study in Australia. You can also work for up to 40 hours a week fortnight. Compared, once again, if you compare it to the UK, it would be half the time in the UK where you can only work 20 hours a week. The minimum pay is very high. And the last one, which might be a bit of an underrated criteria, is the lovely weather and beaches that you can get in Australia. The UK has beaches, but I would say that they're a bit different. But there's more. So this is a lot of things to read, but just the last few things that you need to remember. There's a very strong recognition of the group of 8 in Australia. So if you decide to study in one of those, there's a very strong chance that the course that you will study there will be recognized internationally. And that's a very good thing to have. Obviously, this may be the number one thing that you need to check before you choose your options. The second thing is the foundations that we have in Australia are, so no matter which one you choose among the study group options that I showed you, they will be also accepted by other universities. Another big difference is if you decide to study a foundation in Australia, they have very flexible progression options. That includes some minors, some double majors, some electives. That's a very strong point. Once again, in the UK, they're usually a bit more traditional, so it might not always be as easy to do that. So in Australia, you could very well change your mind. And then if you have a good GPA, there is room for discussion. It's, again, not always the case for the UK. The last thing that I want to really talk about is the progression that we have. So when I say progression, is the percentage of students studying a foundation or a pre-masters and then progressing to the university. So that percentage in Australia, in some of our best partners, so UWA, Sydney, or ANU, is more than 88%. That's a very strong result. And if I had to add one comment about this, this is probably one of the things that you want to consider when you choose a pathway provider. So at Study Group, we're very experienced in the support of our students, and we're very confident in bringing them where they want to be. And that's why we have a very strong progression result, and we're trying to improve that every year. The type of degrees that you can choose go from commerce, business, medicine, dentistry, engineering for UWA. You could go to Sydney and study architecture, law, business. All of that are very strong options, but also physiotherapy. And then you have ANU, which is obviously like a top 30 QS university, which is very also popular for law, philosophy, politics, or economics, or even business. There's a lot more to say about this, but I wanted to keep it short and hopefully answer a few questions if possible. And thanks very much for listening, and maybe we can have a look at the questions if there is any that is left unanswered.
Thanks, Massimo. So next, Rosalie will be taking over and let's have some fun time. So that Rosalie will be hosting the Kahoot game for all of us.
Yeah, hi everybody. So I'm Rosalie from IDP Singapore as well. First of all, thanks Massimo and as well Sabrina for the fantastic presentation. It's great seeing the questions on our Q&A. So for those in attendance, please continue feeling free to ask questions on the Q&A. We do have our fantastic counselors around as well, so they've been answering all the queries. So keep posting it. Now, let me just share my screen just for a bit of a teaser before we go into our most exciting part, which is speaking to the graduates. All right, so this, we are actually just having a quick Kahoot session. We have 5 questions. What we're doing is we're actually just asking questions around what has been presented. All right, let me just drop the link as well. So basically for you guys to join it, you guys can just go straight to this particular website and you can enter the game pin. I've actually included it in the chat as well. Yeah, just log on to it. We'll just give it a few more minutes before we kind of start on it. Just a pretty quick one as well. All right, I think we'll just get started in the interest of time as well. So those who are coming on board, you can join it as we go on as well. So again, just a pretty quick one. All right, so this is the first question. You guys will be able to pick the answer straight from your phone or your computer. All right, yes, just to answer a question. So IDP, we've been around for actually over 50 years. In fact, last year we celebrated our 50th year. So we've got lead on the lead. On to the next question. What type of pathway programs are available for students to take? All right, yes, okay. So basically, I think as Massimo presented as well as Sabrina, the pre-masters, foundation and international year one has all been mentioned. So all of these were actually the pathway programs available to students. But our lead haven't changed, all right? On to the next one. Which study group universities is located in Ireland? Yes, the university is actually University College Dublin. Flinders is actually located in Australia. Oh wow, Leeds hasn't changed as well. All right, on to the next one. What are the benefits of doing the foundation pathway? All right, yes, I think everyone got that one. It's actually all of the above. You can fast track your university program. It gives you good exposure and preparation for uni. And lastly, there is a guaranteed entry to university. All right, the leaderboard has not changed, but getting close. Now for the last question, what are some of the Australian universities that you can pathway to with a study group foundation program? Yep, this one, it's actually all of them as well. You can actually go to a pathway to get into University of Sydney, University of Western Australia, and Australian National University. So now just, I think at third place, we have a person called Elite. Secondly, Aline. And last, yes, R71. So congratulations, those on board. Hopefully it's been quite useful as well to all of you. I think now, following this, let me invite two of our students. Look at IDP, we're very big on fostering collaborations. And I think one of those is actually really fostering with our students who either graduates or currently students. So with that, let me bring on board Sunipa and Vinit. Get them on camera as well. Just give me a minute, guys. All right. Okay. I think we have both our students on board. Now, before I start, I think it's good that I just give a little introduction, but of course, I'll also leave it to them to speak a bit more about themselves. Firstly, we've got two students. Firstly, we've got Vineet. So Vineet is currently studying at UK institution. And then we also have Sonipa on the other side, who is actually studying at an Australian institution. So maybe to start off very easily, I think we'll start with Sonipa first. Can you just share with us a little bit, what program or what school were you in Singapore before you move over to Australia? And maybe just share with us a little bit about what you're currently doing in Australia or the program you're doing.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Sonipa. I studied in St Andrews Junior College. I took my A levels in Singapore, but I didn't do very well. So I decided to take the foundation course to get into the course that I like and study the subject that I like in uni. So now I'm currently in Taylor's College in Perth. I'm studying the Express Foundation program to get into UWA, University of Western Australia. Yeah.
All right. What program will you be doing at UC Western Australia?
My major,
Yeah. Or actually just like, is it an arts or a science program?
Bachelor of Science. I'm planning to major in computer science.
Oh, fantastic. All right. And now we'll go to Vinny. Maybe just share a bit similarly what was your education background back in Singapore and what program you're going into.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep, sounds great.
Yeah. So basically, I was from Republic Poly. I was doing sport science, and then after my sport science, I didn't really like it, so I wanted to change a course that I really liked, and I chose law. So after my NS, I went to do my foundation in Kaplan International College, London, and then I managed to ace it, and then now I'm my first year in Birmingham University.
Oh, wow. That's pretty fantastic. Definitely a very different route to what most people have done. It's very interesting. We'll definitely ask more on that. Now, I think the first question I would probably have is, foundation pathway is not something that's widely or commonly known around Singapore. So how did you actually first find out about the foundation pathway and what made you feel that, okay, this is probably the course for me? So maybe we start with Vinit with this.
I basically saw this foundation pathway on Facebook, and then it got me kind of interested when I was in the army. So I went during my free time. I went to read about it, and then I couldn't get into a local university with my diploma because I didn't perform very well in my poly days. So I decided to contact one of the IDP counselors, which is Shaida, to assist me in my progression into one of the universities. And then she was asking me what course I like, and then we took it off from there.
All right, sounds fantastic. How about you, Sunipa? How did you kind of find out this foundation pathway?
I found out about foundation programs through my friends because many of them also took the foundation program after O levels to um, fast track into a university. So yeah.
All right, and what made you decide that, okay, this is it for me? This is probably the best track for me.
Um, um, because because of my A level results, they weren't good enough to go into the course that I like. I took the express one because it's just it's less than a year, then I can just go into uni instead of retaking A levels or.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the fast track option, it's always an ideal situation. A lot of our students as well really like that. It's a lot quicker as opposed to the more traditional tracks. This one is just really just outside of the foundation bit. What made you decide that, okay, Australia was the place that I wanted to study at, Sunipa?
Uh, um, I think because I have relatives there also. So when I first go to a new country, it'll be easier for me to settle in with people I know helping me and stuff. And also the weather and the environment. I went to read online and they said it's very good. compared to like Canada and UK, it's like very cold. So I chose Australia instead.
Yeah, they have definitely beautiful weather. I studied myself at Queensland, and look, it's sunny all year round. So I definitely get why you would actually pick Australia. How about you, Vinit? What made you decide, okay, UK is probably the best place for me right now?
For me, basically, my sister was studying in University of Bristol, so I visited a couple of times, and I like the life there, the people there, and also the way they teach the students. So I decided, like, why not give a shot in the UK universities?
All right, fantastic. Now, I think just going in a bit deeper into the foundation, and I'll probably start with Vinit in this because he's completed his foundation. How was your experience doing the foundation program?
It was pretty eye-opening because for me, I started my foundation on the first week of March, and then when it was going to end around 28th of March, UK decided to have a lockdown. Yeah, so I had to stay at home and then started studying, and I have to have self-discipline, have to motivate myself not to like, because during the day you have to wake up and study. It's up to you whether you want to study or you just want to on your Zoom and then go to bed. So it's basically on you. And then it was like the first time I'm doing it online. Usually it's like in Singapore it would be like a 1-2 day thing and then we go back to school. But for UK it was 3 months online and then we had to do exams. So it was a pretty good thing. And then there was a lot to study, especially in the foundation program. So it's not an easy thing, but if you just follow whatever the teacher say, you can definitely get your results.
That sounds fantastic. And you got into law, so that's a testament to what you've been doing. But maybe you could share a bit more, right? During the foundation, how did it prepare you to get into law? It's not an easy task.
So basically what I did was my teachers there in UK were very, very good. So basically after our curriculum time, we can stay back with them and ask questions. And then as I was going to do law, the teachers there were telling me to go and start reading about reading ahead of the school curriculum, like what to do and what to make you on the move to, like basically get your books, like the law books. One of my teacher even bought me a law book, and then he asked me to like study about it because he said that law is not going to be an easy course. You have to start studying now. And then also when I was in Kaplan, they prepare me for uni. So basically, how to evaluate questions, how to feedback the questions properly, and all in all, I think I like the way how Kaplan International taught me. And then also when now I'm in my first year in Birmingham University, we foundation students feel that we have a upper hand compared to other students because we are well prepared compared to the rest of them. And yeah, so basically it's a fun journey, but you have to really, really study hard.
Yeah, I guess that goes with anywhere you study, right? I mean,
Yeah.
regardless of the destination, and that's fantastic. So Nipa, I know you started quite recently, so walk me through how has it been so far for you?
I recently only finished my first term exams, and I think it's very, I feel like it's a bit different compared to Singapore. Like, it's not as fast paced and as stressful as Singapore's education system. And like, although the lessons were all online, I still felt pretty connected to all my peers and my teachers because they were all very caring, and they're very good also, like in teaching and stuff. And they cared like about us, like genuinely, not only academics but also our well-being. Like every week, they will have a Zoom session to check in on us and see how we are coping with the online sessions and school itself.
All right, that's fantastic to hear. Yeah, we are getting a lot of conversations with our students, in regards to online learning. So it's definitely fantastic to hear from the both of you that it's been very good. It looks like all the universities and the schools are really looking out for you guys, which is really, really good. Now, for Sunipa, I know that you're going into a Bachelor of Science program. So maybe we can talk a bit more about the modules you're currently undertaking. Are they all more science-centric or is it a bit more general?
Um, I'm taking, okay, for the first term, I took physics, math, and lab skills and English. Yeah, so it's pretty like towards the science side. the science stream. And for the next term, I think there's like three science topics and one is non-science, like media or something. Yeah.
Okay. So there's kind of like a breadth subject to also like complement whatever you're doing in the science stream. Okay, all right, that's fantastic. How about you, Vinit? When you were doing your foundation, was it quite mostly about law, or did you also have something similar to Sanipa where you kind of get a bit of breadth subjects?
I got something similar to Sonipa, I can say. So basically, I was doing contemporary global issues, logic and critical thinking, and statistics, followed by extended project.
Oh wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
extensive. And look, all this, it sounds quite handful, but what value did you see, especially, having gone through it really, like all the projects that's kind of not really a law program itself? How did it kind of help you when you enter university?
So basically, the skills taught by the teachers on how to address the questions. So basically, for extended project, they told us to choose a topic and elaborate about the topic. So for my end, I chose about Singapore to talk about Singapore and how it had been how Singapore has developed from the early years till now. So along the ways, the teachers taught us how to write an essay, how to have a self-evaluation and the steps. So this, for me, when they taught me this, I wrote it down and I thought that won't be that important. But when I went to uni for law, especially, I have a essay due next month. It's about a 4,000 word essay, and then I'm halfway done with it. And the teachers there are basically pleased with my work so far, as I can say, because with whatever Kaplan has taught me, I used it in the Birmingham University uh, for my law program.
All right, that sounds fantastic. So at least, I mean, on our side, we definitely see value in certain why they actually do this. I mean, they are the academics and kind of experts in it. But it's very heartwarming to hear from a student when they actually realize, oh yeah, this is actually useful at the later parts of the university stage. I actually had a question a bit about, the online learning. I know, Vinit, you're in the UK right now, is it?
I'm in Singapore right
Oh,
now.
you're in Singapore. Okay, so it's
Yeah,
all online learning. How are you coping? Is it very packed? I mean, day to day for yourself?
I find it okay, but just the time difference because it's 8 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes my lectures will be like at 2 p.m. So Singapore time around 10 p.m. Sometimes it will be like at 4 p.m. London time, so it will be around 12 midnight. So you have to balance it out. But otherwise, I honestly I prefer to go back to campus and study. But due to the pandemic, we can't do anything. So I'll make do with what we have. Yeah.
Yeah, quite true. We are hoping everybody will be able to go back onshore as well. But again, like I said, always great to hear that students do have quite good feedback on their online learning. How about you, Sunipa? I know you're not in Singapore, right? You're back in Nepal. How is it trying to accommodate, or how's your online learning journey be so far?
Singapore it was pretty okay because Singapore and Perth they have the same time zone, so it's the same time. But Nepal it's not too bad. I don't think it's as bad as Vinit's because Nepal is 2 hours 15 minutes behind. So it's like I just have to wake up at 5:45 in the morning. So I think that's okay, yeah. But also like I think even though online school can be a bit more challenging, like there's many more distractions, like you can just turn off your camera and go back to sleep. But like the school they taught us like how to overcome the challenges of online learning, like during orientation and stuff. They like taught us the different challenges we can face during online learning and how we can cope with them, and also like they gave us the context of all the teachers or the staff we can approach to for help or anything. So it's pretty manageable right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Again, we're also very happy to hear that, you guys are receiving the support, especially during these hard times. On our side, yes, we do hope that everything opens up. But for the moment, let's really hope for the best. Now, I think I've come like kind of to the last question, and maybe this one we'll go through with Sunipa first. I know you are undergoing the foundation program. At this point of time, having gone through it, would you recommend somebody to pick up a foundation program like what you are doing right now?
Yeah, of course. It's there's no like downsides to it to me, so I would recommend it.
All right, that's amazing to hear. How about you, Vinit? What would you say to people who are actually kind of on the fence or thinking about the foundation program?
I will definitely recommend it. It's one of the best thing I ever did because when I was younger, I didn't want to study, and then suddenly I woke up my ideas, and then I decided to move on. And I think Kaplan gave me opportunity, and basically it's one of the best thing that I decided to move, like to start studying. And when I went there, they didn't look down at me, even though, because now I'm currently 24 years old, I'm the oldest in the class. So age is just a number, and the teachers were very nice to me. And I think that whoever is listening to this, I think if you want to do your foundation, I think just go and do it because it's one of the best decisions I ever made.
All right. Yeah, I couldn't have summarized that any better. Which is really good. For those who, I mean, if you're not aware, I think Vinit's journey or trajectory in terms of his education, it's honestly very inspiring. Hopefully we can have a write-up about that, because honestly, we do get a lot of students who, when you're a lot younger, you may not necessarily see that much value in education, but then it changes quite a bit as you grow. And his trajectory, like I said, it's really amazing. And hopefully one day we'll get to share that a lot more to a wider audience as well. So I think with that, we've come to the end of the panel discussion. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who attended. But more importantly, thank you to Sanipa and Vinit for joining us. It was a great insight on your experience and your journey so far. I wish you guys all the best for your remainder of the study. Like you guys, I really hope the borders open up soon so you can actually experience both Australia and UK on your side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that's all we have from IDP. Thank you everyone again for joining us. Any questions that you may still have, feel free to check in or speak to any of our counselor or contact IDP directly. More than happy to assist you guys through the way. But for tonight, thank you everyone again.